Yeah, this is quite the magical setup. I can't lie to you. It's pretty cool being on the beach and at the track at the same time. Can't say I've ever experienced that, but yeah, I feel good. Was a little jet lagged Wednesday when I rode this week, but you know, we've had a couple days since then, so I think come tomorrow we'll be ready to go. Yeah, it's obviously an added bonus. It's not what I expected right out of the gate, but we rode well. Bike setup's in a decent place considering the amount of time that we had. So, you know, unfortunately with the schedule of bouncing back and forth between two series, I haven't had them. Truthfully, I haven't had any time to test anything. So I think we'll just have to roll with what we had at 1 and 2, and it seemed to work pretty well there. So we'll try it again this weekend. Get off the gate. You know, I think, as we already know, starts are really important. So trying to put ourselves in a position to win is big, and you know, I think the majority of that comes from getting off the gate and putting ourselves up front. So thankfully, I'm a pretty good starter most of the time, and yeah, I'm confident in my ability, and you know, like I said, I'm happy with where I'm at. We'll come here and do some battling and try to keep the 17 red. No, it's I mean, obviously we're racing, right? So there's no, hey, don't do this, don't do that. But at the same time, there's enough respect between Dean and I to where, you know, we want to race each other clean and fair, and we want to put on a battle for the crowd, you know. So yeah, definitely no team orders or anything. Obviously, your Reeve wants us to keep it clean as well as I, and I'm sure Dean does too. You know, we don't we see each other during the week, and on the weekend we're in the same truck. So if we can try to avoid the animosity, it's always an added bonus. But yeah, you know, like I said, Dean and I are old enough to understand that we're going racing, and when we put the helmets on, it's a fair game. But also at the same time, we have enough respect for each other to do the right thing.
I'm excited, man. It's one thing to have your friends and family, but you know, I've got a lot of fans that come and support me. People flying from Melbourne actually just to come watch me in my hometown, and man, I'm excited. What a venue, Wynn Stadium on the water. I'm excited. Yeah, I've got no other option than to go out and win this weekend and try and gather 75 points. I'm a long ways down in the championship at the moment, but anything can happen. This is Supercross, and that's why we come here. I sort of put myself in a position now where I've got to really bring the animal out of me and get after it. Whatever happens, happens. But yeah, I'll be definitely going for the win. Just an amazing family atmosphere. You know, everything from fireworks to intros and freestyle, us racing. Man, my family is one of the things that bucket list they want to do each year. So I'm excited, and come along and check it out.
Yeah, so I switched to the 2025. I've had about 3 days on it. It's been a really good transition, honestly. It wasn't nothing too crazy. Raced Vancouver WSX on the 24, so that should be my last race on the 24. So yeah, I just jumped on the 25. Felt so good and comfortable on the bike, I decided to go swimming with it. So yeah, went for a little dip in the water with it, and but we got it. You know, my mechanic Craig got it all dialed and back together. So here we are.
Talk us through that real quick, just sort of what happened there when we saw it on social media, ended up deep in the water. So how did you end up like that, and what did Konski say?
Yeah, so I was testing suspension, just trying to get the bike dialed, as I haven't had a lot of time on it, and I was just doing like 1 or 2 laps, and I was on my second lap, so pretty much my last lap of the day, and there's this corner rhythm section, so I jumped it, and it shot me to the right a little bit, and there was just a dirt clod that was kind of camouflaged with the dirt, and I went to hit the finish jump, and my front wheel hit the dirt clod, and it just shot me right off the jump. I just hooked it right, and I was just, oh no, in the pond, and yeah, bike was fully underwater, I was fully underwater, and we had to, yeah, I swam to the top, and I'm just like, oh no, my bike, like, because we don't have a lot of parts or nothing.
Is this the same bike?
Yeah, this is the same bike, because we don't have a lot of parts to 2025 yet. So I'm trying to get my bike out, my mechanic dives in, he's getting the bike, getting torn up by thorn bushes, and yeah, we made it happen, but not ideal. We can laugh about it now though.
How come we started the season, when I spoke to your Reeve, he mentioned Canada and having to ride the 24 there or something along those lines. How did we end up, you know, starting the season on the 24, and and now a quick transition to the 25.
Yeah, so I was told that we couldn't race the 2024 at Vancouver. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna race the first round on a 25 and then go back to 24, then go back to 25. I didn't want to do all that. So that's why I just stuck to the 24, which I would way rather have raced the 25 because I could have had more time on it. But then we got to Vancouver and Joey was on a 2025. So I wasn't real pleased with that, but yeah, I mean, we're on a 25 now, all is good, and should be good.
One thing, just finally, whenever Justin Brayton's been here, every year he kind of says the competition elevates, the level of what we're having in AUSX, you know, seems to increase. How have you found that year on year? Just obviously one round in, and Joey Savatgy's here as well on your team, but how have you found that?
Yeah, I definitely think everyone elevates. Everyone gets in some good training camps before the series, and we have, you know, Australia has really good riders here, and it's a good, you know, 5, 6, 7 of them. So yeah, it's good, and I think I do think the race formats help them a little bit as they're shorter. If it was your traditional 20 laps, I think it'd be a little bit different. I'm more of a fan of the longer races. I just feel like I get better as I go on. But I definitely think the Oz boys elevate every year, 100%.
How about the whoops? I haven't seen them yet. Are they built? Have we?
I haven't really took too much of a look at the track, but hopefully we have some decent whoops. They said they're building them, but we'll see. Obviously, round 1 at Redcliffe was pretty good whoops, and then they chopped them down, which I understand. I'm not mad about it. But hopefully they're big, because that's what I like.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I've made a lot of progression. You know, I've had a good few weeks with the Beatons boys down in Monthaggy. You know, we've been working hard, and we've had a lot better build up to this round than the first round. So, yes, I guess we'll see how it goes tomorrow and see how much progression I've made.
Was it difficult to kind of get an understanding of what to expect going into that first one, and how much do you think that will benefit you, just having those gate drops and obviously being competitive as well?
Yeah, obviously I had no idea what to expect really for those first 2 rounds. You know, I was sitting on the start gate, not unsure of how to race really. You know, it's half easy to ride Supercross, but then I worked out the other weekend that racing it is a lot different. So yeah, after those few great drops, you know, I have a lot more of understanding of how to race it now, and yeah, looking forward to tomorrow night.
We had that interview during the week with Cole Thompson on MotoOnline, so where are you at on that? Are you good? Can we expect more fireworks, or you're just focusing on yourself? I don't want to give you a multiple choice, you know, question, but yeah, where are you at?
Yeah, like you said, I'm focusing on myself. You know, you can't change what happens in the past, and it is what it is. You know, I was a bit gutted first Supercross race and getting taken down twice, but you know, it's all good. You're a bit shitty for a few days, but then I move on pretty quick, and yeah, no more fireworks. I'll be focusing on myself, so yeah.
Hey, final one from me. For you, obviously the MX2 national champion here in Australia, how do you like Supercross, and you know, how has that transition been in general, you know, just as a competitor, as somebody who, you know, obviously can see the benefit of being an all-rounder? I feel like New Zealanders in general are kind of trending at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. There's you know, there's a few of the boys doing quite well overseas, and it's taken some adjustment to Supercross. You know, we've had a pretty big year racing motocross, and you know, you're a little bit tired after the motocross season, and then it takes a lot out of you know, learning Supercross, and it's quite tough mentally. You have to be pretty switched on each day, you know, even at the practice track. But I've been really enjoying it. You know, I really like jumping and stuff, and it's a lot of learning to do, and you know, I love learning something new. So yeah, I've been really enjoying it so far.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely a lot more confident now, a lot more comfortable. I know the Honda 250 a lot better, and yeah, we've had time to kind of refine the bike, make some small changes. The first 2 rounds in Redcliffe, we made changes all day. The first round, second round, we made changes all through practice, and then for the night, I was able to win both motos there. And yeah, we didn't make any changes at night, so we're continuing to get more and more comfortable. And Yeah, I think it's good. Time is really good for us right now. Time with the team, time on the bike. It's a really good group of guys we got here, and I'm excited to be a part of it. The Polyfloor Froth Honda team is a big team, but there's a lot of good guys on it and a lot of good personnel. My mechanic Brodie here, and Matt and Bruce doing the suspension. Those guys really know what they're doing, and I'm excited to work with them. So yeah, I think it's good. We had a good weekend in Canada, and just more time on the race bike. The dirt there was quite a bit softer than it will be here, but this dirt looks like it's going to be fairly loose, and it could be a little bit softer than Red Cliff. So not soft by any means, just not as hard. So yeah, I think it's exciting. I'm excited to be here.
Hey, after that first night in Redcliffe, you obviously wanted to turn it around.
Yep.
Were you surprised at all to leave there with the red plate, the way the point system worked and everything like that?
I definitely was, and I think
Brent 1 went really well.
there were some issues with the scoring also. I think it wasn't really clear, which originally we thought we were only a couple points out of the lead, and it's like, well, I mean, sweet, that's good for considering getting 8th place on the first night. But then once the points were revised and it was only event points overall for both nights, and then I was in the lead, and it's like, well, sweet, okay, that it was kind of like my mindset was already focused forward, like, all right, we got work to do. And then it was like, well, now you're actually in the points lead. It's like, okay, sweet. That it changes things a little bit, but it doesn't really change things. So it's I still have a job to do and something to continue to grow on, and we got to keep the pressure on.
Last one, how important is it for you between, AUSX and WSX to learn these international formats, the structures, the points being paid?
Yeah.
Is that something you put some time into leading into each round, or how do you manage that?
Unknowingly, I have put time into that. Honestly, with in the States, being on a couple different teams this year, really my last couple years, there's been so much change that I've learned how to adapt, and that's something that for most of my career I would say I wasn't as strong at that. Right now it's kind of something I've leaned into, because it's like, you don't know, like for us, we don't know where we're going to be next, we don't know what's in store, and so it's like, all I know is I've got a job to do, and I got to race hard. And so whatever the race structure is that weekend, I mean, I think for Australia, it's kind of a different style each weekend, which I think is pretty sweet. I think it's good. Well, maybe for me, just not being used to one set thing. And yeah, the WSX series is also different. So yeah, I think honestly, it's making me stronger, and I'm leaning into it and being okay with it. That's kind of one of the biggest things is we can plan to an extent, but once the gate drops, I mean, whether you start in first or whether you start in 5th, you've got to adapt on the fly anyway. So yeah, I'm excited about just how things are going, and each race out is a new race to push my body, to push the bike, to continue to learn, and to learn the competition too. That's something that I'm really enjoying. Is like, hey, I'm a good rider, and I'm confident, and I believe in myself. I just have to apply myself, and that's what's been fun.